Hello everyone, my name is Lisa and I will be presenting on how the gut microbiome affects your metabolic health and why it matters. So first, what is a microbiome? It is a community of organisms that exist in a particular environment. For example, there are microbiomes in the soil, in water, in multiple human surfaces like the skin, the mouth, and I'll be discussing the ones in the gut. Okay, so what is metabolic syndrome? This is a big question because the healthcare field is still trying to define it. As of now, it's considered a cluster of symptoms that increase the risk of various metabolic diseases, such as cancer, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and dementia. And examples of these metabolic syndrome symptoms are hypertension, high triglycerides, high blood sugar, and excess abdominal fat. Research on metabolic syndrome continues to unfold because up until very recently, doctors in different fields have been considering these diseases as completely unrelated. But now it seems that the pathogenesis for all of these diseases, remember like dementia, cancer, PCOS, heart disease, these all look like very different diseases, but it seems that they're all caused by, at the root of it, cellular and mitochondrial dysfunctioning, and it's just manifesting in different cells as different diseases. Okay, so how do gut bacteria exactly impact human metabolism? The intestinal lining is where gut bacteria and the human blood, immune system, and hormones meet. In a healthy gut population, there is generally a tight intestinal lining, so that bacteria is staying away from the blood. It's just staying on that one side. But the blood can still receive the nutrients that pass through this intestinal lining. If there is dysbiosis, where the gut bacteria population is off balance, there are more pathological bacteria that are destroying the gut lining, then there is going to be gut permeability, which is on the right here. The bacteria are able to cross over into the human side, interact with the blood, and this causes an immune response. There are macrophages and other immune system players that are going to detect these pathogens and know that it's not sterile. So this immune response leads to inflammation, and inflammation has been shown to block insulin receptors. And when that's true, when that happens, we are developing more insulin resistance, and we are not able to respond to sugar the way that our cells normally are going to respond to sugar. Okay, so the bacteria that crosses through, they cause an inflammatory response, which causes us to not able to respond to sugar and insulin, and that causes all of these metabolic issues. So what can we do to prevent this dysbiosis and this gut permeability from even happening in the first place? This is also a very loaded question, as we can go into cutting out sugar to lower the insulin response, or the various other things like sleep, stress management, and exercise that also impact our cellular functioning. But for the most direct answer within the scope of this class, to help with dysbiosis, a few things you can do are to eat probiotics such as kimchi, sauerkraut, yogurt, and kombucha. Another thing we can do is to generally increase our exposure to different bacteria. We have a tendency to interact with everything that's like on the surfaces, interact with things that are, and other people that have um, the different organisms that also have different biomes on and in them. And this helps to make our own diversity more, or our own biodiversity more robust. And this could mean having roommates, keeping a pet, or even gardening, so interacting with animal and soil microbiomes. So to conclude, there are bacteria that are harmful, but there are also many that have a symbiotic relationship with humans that keep the harmful ones in check. And they're everywhere. They're on every surface. They're on our skin. They are on inside of us as well, helping us to stay alive. And ultimately, dysbiosis is about balancing those good and bacteria. So thank you, everyone.